Prayer. I, Yoichi Fukui, Minister of Tenrikyo Mission, New York Center, speak with reverence to those who passed away in the Hiroshima and Nagasaki atomic bombs. Today, we remember and honor you and hope that we humankind have learned the tragic lessons of this man-made disaster. We all pray sincerely that God the Parent will accept our determination and guide us so that the mind of people will become clear one after another and the world will be reconstructed into the joyous life in which all the people throughout the world will help one another and live in harmony as brothers and sisters.皆さんこんにちは。この世の元始まりは泥海であったとお聞かせいただきます。神様はこの混沌とした様を味気なくお示しされ、人間を作り、人間がお互いに助け合いながら陽気に暮らすのを見て、共に楽しもうと思いつかれました。そこで神様は道具を引き寄せて、人間創造の守護を教え、私たち人間は皆神様の体内に一度宿し込まれ、生まれ出されました。そしてそれ以来何度も何度も生まれ変わりを繰り返しながら現在の姿をご守護いただいております。私たち人間は神様の体内で一緒に育ち、生まれ育てていただいた兄弟であります。お互いに兄弟の自覚を持ちながら助け合って陽気に暮らすことが私たちの生きる目的であります。世界中の人々の心が澄み渡り、助け合って暮らす陽気づくめの世の様へとお導きいただけますようにお祈り申し上げます。ありがとうございました。
Greetings. My name is the Reverend Chloe Breyer. I'm Executive Director at the Interfaith Center of New York, and I'm partnered for many years with Reverend T.K. Nakagaki and other faith leaders in New York, honoring the anniversary of the bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. And this year, on the 80th anniversary, we are here in Japan. Jesus said, "The kingdom of God is within you." And that reminds us that peace begins with us, something that many different faith traditions honor. However, it does not end with us. And a few days ago, we had the honor of meeting the daughter of Reverend Tanimoto, who was one of the people that John Hershey profiled in his book, Hiroshima. And this reverend was extraordinary because he did so much work in the aftermath of the bombing, and even with his enemies came and offered words of reconciliation. His generosity at that time has a message for all of us, and that is that peace is something that is not just a personal state of mind. It has to do with meeting and recognizing that we need each other as human beings, and that peace to exist must do so not in families, in communities, in cities, and across countries. And that's with that, I wish to leave us with a prayer from the Episcopal Church Book of Common Prayer. Eternal God, in whose perfect kingdom no sword is drawn but the sword of righteousness, no strength is known but the strength of love, so mightily spread abroad your spirit that all peoples may be gathered under the banner of the Prince of Peace, as children of one God, to whom be dominion and glory now and forever. Amen. Thank you.
Jewish tradition tells us a story of two people stranded on a desert island with only one canteen of water. The question is, who should drink from that canteen? After a much heated debate, the answer is the one who owns the canteen has the right to drink from it. But that person has a responsibility to perpetuate the memory of the person left behind, of the person who died because he couldn't drink any water. All of us come here to remember those who lost their lives during a horrific period. They didn't get a chance to drink from that canteen. So all of us who did have a moral responsibility to perpetuate their memory, their legacy. There is a movie called The King's Speech, in which King George VI, who is a stutterer, tries to overcome his limitation. One day he says to his teacher, "I have a voice." I think all of us recognize that not only do we have a voice, but we must use our voices to protest the horrors of war so that we don't have to come back year after year and recall another conflict. The word for community in Hebrew, kehillah, has the word kol, that is voice. If you really want to be a recognized member of a community, you have to raise your voice so you can be heard. Don't ask, what can I do and do nothing? Ask, what else can I do and do something? It's interesting. When you go to an airport, you see different faith chapels. All of those faith chapels are equal in size, and they are contiguous to one another to teach us that all of us have our different beliefs and our traditions, but all of us also belong to one human family. We say in our prayers each day, it is not enough to love peace. You have to pursue peace. So we are here as not only peace partners, we are here as peace pursuers. When you get a ticket to an event, it will say on it, "No good if detached." We cannot be our best. We cannot be any good if we are detached from one another. So thus in Hebrew, the word for bread is lechem. With those three letters, you can form two other words. One is lochein, that means to fight. The other is cholein, that means to dream. Sadly, in this world, there are some people who only dream to fight. There are others who have to fight for bread. But some of us will continue to fight for a dream of a day when we will see peace, no war, for all of us who will pray for peace and pursue peace. That is what we need. That is what we deserve. Amen.
In the name of God, the most merciful and most gracious. Dear friend in Japan, and to all peace-loving people around the world, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Peace be upon you. It is with a heavy heart and deep humility that I send this message to honor the memory of those who perished in the atomic bombing of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. As we mark of 80th anniversary of this unmanageable tragedy, I join you physically in spirit and spiritually in solidarity on this peace pilgrim. The memory of August 6 and 9, 1945 and are not just date in history. They are moral warning of humanity. The cries of children, the silence of scores sick, and the pain of survivors must never be forgotten. In Islam, the sanctity of every human life is paramount. The Holy Book, the Quran, Al-Karim, mention or remind us that whoever kills a soul, it is as if he had silenced all of humanity, and whoever saves one, it is as if he had saved all of humanity. Surah Al-Ma'idah 5 verse 32. Today, as the world continues with witness tragic conflicts from Ukraine to Gaza, we are reminded that the danger of war, hatred, and nuclear arms are not relics of the past. The continued existence of these weapons and normalization of violence should alarm our moral consequences. Let us not only remind the past, let us act in the present. Peace is not passive, it is an active commitment. A scared duty to uphold the dignity of life, to speak for the voiceless, and to stand against the machinery of war and injustice. We must teach our children not just history, but hope, definitely. Not just war stories, but peacemaking. To my brother and sister in Hiroshima and Nagasaki, I thank you, courage to turn pain into purpose, your commitment to peace education, and your welcome of global pilgrim gives the world hope. May our shared prayer and action build bridges where there are walls and compassions where there is conflict. O God, O source of peace, make us among those who bring peace to others. Unite our hearts across the border and beliefs. Protect us from the darkness of war and arrogance of power. Guide us all toward a future where love triumphs over hate and where swords are turned into bullshit. May peace be upon Hiroshima. May peace be upon Nagasaki. May peace be all us. Thank you so much. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
はい、皆様こんにちは。ニューヨーク平和ファウンデーションの代表をしております中垣と申します。同時に広島平和大使、長崎平和特派員を委嘱されております。そして仏教僧侶でもありまして、ニューヨーク仏教連盟の、元会長というか名誉会長を今も務めさせていただいております。今日はこの被爆80年ということで少しお話をさせていただければと思います。まずこの一人一人がやっぱり自分自身をちゃんと見つめていくっていうこと、これはすごく大切だと思うんですよね。実際に今ね、世界中でいろんな戦争にしても、環境問題にしてもこう起こっておるんですけども、これよくよく考えてみると、これ人間がみんな作り出したもんじゃないのかなと思うような。なぜかって言いますと、ね、人間、いろんな核兵器を作ったのも人間ですよね。自然界にないようなものを作り出した。そしてそれを使っていった。やっぱり人間次第なんだと思いますね。何か、その技術とかだけがどんどん先に行って、人間が置いてきぼりになっているような感じがしますね。なんか自分自身がそれを使いこなせてないんじゃないか。それだけの大きな爆弾とかね、それこそ人類を一度に滅ぼすような地球というこの惑星をね、いっぺんにダメにしてしまうような、そういう爆弾を持ってる。それを持ってるのはこのね、人間ですからね。なんかね、それこそ、なんですね。自分のことばっかり最近考えてますよね。自分がどうやって、自分さえ幸せであればそれでいい。他のやつはどうなってもいいんだっていうような感じの考え方が多くなってきているような感じがいたします。個人主義といいますか。だからね、よく思うのはやっぱり菩薩道っていうのがあります。仏教なんかでもね。菩薩のような生き方っていうのは、まず人の幸せ、他の幸せを考えていくっていうことから始めていくんですね。伏せの精神って言いますか。で、人々の幸せをまず考えよう。そういう人間がね、こう出てきますと、どんな上になったとしてもね、例えば、大統領でも何でもいいですが、上に立つ人が常に自分の利益ばかり求めてますと、いや、平民というかね、普通の人は苦しみますよね。しかし、その上に立つ人が、菩薩のような心、すなわち、すべての人々が幸せになる、そういう道を考えていると、やはりその世界も変わってきますよね。そういった意味で、この、上に立つ人というか人間の質ですよね。私たち自身がもう少しこう自分を高めていく必要があるんじゃないかと思います。殺してはいけない。殺させてはいけない。Do not kill and do not let others kill. すべての命を尊み、優しさと慈愛の心を持たねばならない。Respect all lives with a mind of loving kindness and compassion. すべての命が幸せで健康で平安でありますように。May all beings be happy, well and peaceful. 願に宿毒平等性一切同発菩提心往生安楽。Peace to you all. Thank you.
やんできてね。
Today's performers are atomic bomb survivors who have gathered in response to the call of Terai Kazumichi, founder of the Himawari Chorus. On this 80th anniversary of the atomic bombing, through this song, they entrust their deepest wish to the world: let there be no more hibakusha like us. Ladies and gentlemen, today is August 9th, the day that marks 80 years since the atomic bombing of Nagasaki. We have gathered here to offer heartfelt prayers to the souls of all the victims of the atomic bombing, to encourage the survivors who are still suffering from the after effects, and above all, to express our sincere wish for the realization of a peaceful world free of nuclear weapons. In the presence of the guests from both Japan and around the world, we now commence the 80th Nagasaki Peace Memorial Ceremony. My name is Yamaguchi Misao, a third-year student at the Nagasaki Institute of Applied Science High School. And I'm Nakamura Miyu, a second-year student at the same school. As members of the younger generation entrusted with carrying forward Nagasaki's wish for peace, the two of us will serve as the hosts of today's ceremony.
At this moment, 長崎の鐘が打ち鳴らされています。
In prayer for peace.
新たに
The list of atomic bomb survivors who were confirmed dead over the past year will be laid to rest in the memorial cenotaph by Mr. Nakamura Shunsuke representing the bereaved families, Ms. Nakao Yuriko representing the Hibakushas, and the mayor of Nagasaki City. The newly added lists contain 3,167 names, bringing the total number of victims and those who died in the subsequent years to 201,942. The opening address will be delivered by the chairman of Nagasaki City Council. Opening address. Today, with the attendance of Prime Minister Ishiba, distinguished guests, Hibakusha, bereaved families, and the people of Nagasaki. I would like to begin the 80th Nagasaki Peace Ceremony by expressing my deepest condolences to all of those lost in the atomic bombing. On this day 80 years ago, a single atomic bomb which exploded in the skies above the devastated city of Nagasaki in an instant, taking many precious lives and leaving deep, unforgettable sorrow. My grandfather was one of those lives taken by the atomic bomb. As a teacher at Shiroyama National School, which was located close to the hypocenter, he lost his life that day at the school's sports grounds. His young daughter, my mother, was also exposed to the atomic bomb, causing her to face many hardships throughout her life afterward. Since I was raised in an environment where I could see and hear the damage caused by the atomic bombing, I believe that there can be nothing more important than relaying the realities of the atomic bombing to the next generation and continuing to advocate for greater awareness about the inhumanity of nuclear weapons. However, the average age of the hibakusha has now surpassed 86. As the population of the hibakusha continues to decrease in age, we are facing the challenge of passing on the legacy of their experiences. Furthermore, events such as the Russian invasion of Ukraine and the armed conflict in the Middle East, which moved the world backwards from nuclear weapons abolition, are keeping the international situation tense and only worsen the division and confrontations within the international community. Amid these conditions, at the end of last year, the Japan Confederation of A&H Bomb Sufferers Organization, or Nihon Hidankyo, was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize. I believe that this award made an extremely large impact on the international community, and it is expected that the momentum towards the abolition of nuclear weapons will greatly increase. Today, there are around 12,000 nuclear warheads on the Earth. Not only is the usage of nuclear weapons never allowed, but even the possession of these weapons itself is impermissible. We firmly pledge to tirelessly continue putting all our efforts towards realizing a world without nuclear weapons and achieving everlasting world peace so that Nagasaki remains the last atomic bombing site. In closing, I pray that those lost in the atomic bomb may rest in peace, and I pray for the good health and well-being to all of the atomic bomb survivors and the bereaved families. Iwanaga Toshihiro, Nagasaki City Council Chairman, August 9th, 2025.
Water offering. Now a water tribute is being offered to honor the souls of the deceased atomic bomb victims. 80 years ago on that day, hibakusha who suffered severe burns all over, even inside the body, passed away, crying out in agony, "Water, water." The pure water offered today includes water drawn from sacred springs across Nagasaki, including Anakobo Okunoin in Ehira, as well as from Nishimachi, Nishiyama, and Mitsuyama, places from which victims once cried out for water. It also includes water from all directions, east, west, south, and north, and from the Fountain of Peace. Today's offering is performed by the 5 representatives of Ms. Matsuo Hiroko, representing the bereaved families, Ms. Mori Shigeko, representing Hibakusha, Kurihara Ali, representing high school students, Ohara Tesho, representing junior high school students, Ikeda Sayuri, representing elementary school students. Now we will proceed with a floral offering Flowers will be presented by Ms. Igashira Reiko, representing the bereaved families, Ms. Mitamura Shizuko, representing Hibakusha, the mayor of Nagasaki, and the chairperson of the Nagasaki City Council. Now, the distinguished guests are invited to offer floral tribute. Mr. Ishiba Shigeru, Prime Minister of Japan. Mr. Nukaga Fukushiro, the Speaker of the House of Representatives. Mr. Sekiguchi Masakazu, the President of the House of Councillors. Mr. Imasaki Yukihiko, Chief Justice of the Supreme Court. Mr. Iwaya Takeshi, Minister for Foreign Affairs. Ms. Abe Toshiko, Minister of Education, Culture, Sports, Science and Technology. Mr. Fukuoka Takamaro, Minister of Health, Labor and Welfare. Mr. Nishime Kousaburo, representing Liberal Democratic Party. Mr. Noda Yoshihiko, representing the Constitutional Democratic Party of Japan. Mr. Fujita Fumitake, representing Japan Innovation Party. Mr. Tamaki Yuichiro, representing the Democratic Party for the People. Mr. Saito Tetsuo, representing Komeito Party. Mr. Kamiya Sohei, representing Political Participation Party. Mr. Koike Akira, representing Japan Communist Party. Ms. Kushibuchi Mari, representing Reiwa Shinsengumi Party. Mr. Hyakuta Naoki, representing Nippon Conservative Party. Ms. Fukushima Mizuho, representing the Social Democratic Party. Ms. Nakamitsu Izumi, the United Nations Under Secretary General and Representative for Disarmament Affairs. Mr. Oishi Kengo, Governor of Nagasaki. Mr. Sotoma Masahiro, the Speaker of Nagasaki Prefectural Assembly. Mr. Matsui Kazumi, the Mayor of Hiroshima City. Mr. Hachijo Norihiko, the Speaker of Hiroshima City Council. Mr. Matsuki Takeo, representing Hibakusha in Hiroshima City. Ms. Nishiyama Sachiko and Mr. Hirado Takeo, national representatives of the bereaved families of the deceased Hibakusha. Dr. Robert Floyd, Executive Secretary, Provisional Technical Secretariat of the Preparatory Commission for CTBTO. Mr. Lewis Savio, Regional Director for Asia and the Pacific, International Committee of the Red Cross. His Excellency, Mr. John Fritz, Ambassador of the Federated States of Micronesia. Mr. Carmine Grimshaw, representing the Mayor of Peace, the City of Manchester. Ms. Catherine Desomel, representing Mayor for Peace, the City of Ipel. Mr. Chinen Satoru, Mayor of Naha, representative of Japan Council of Nuclear-Free Local Authorities. Next, we would like to invite a representative of the other participants to offer flowers in tribute.
It is almost 2 minutes past 11. We will pause for a moment of silent prayer for the souls of the atomic bomb victims and for a lasting world peace. Everyone, you're kindly requested to rise if you are able to. Silent prayer. Thank you.
ご着席ください。
You may be seated. Nagasaki Peace Declaration. The mayor of Nagasaki City will deliver the peace declaration to the world. The declaration has been translated into 10 different languages and will be transmitted to the world via the internet. Nagasaki Peace Declaration. On August 9th, 1945, an atomic bomb was dropped on this city. Now, 80 years since that day, who could have possibly imagined that our world would become like this? Immediately cease from disputes in which force is met with force. Conflicts around the world are intensifying in a vicious cycle of confrontation and fragmentation. If we continue on this tragedy, we will end up thrusting ourselves into a nuclear war. This existential crisis of humanity has become imminent to each and every one of us living on this planet. Speaking as the first hibakusha to address the United Nations General Assembly in 1982, the late Yamaguchi Seiji described the horrific scene of the bombing as follows. I saw people all around me with extruding eyeballs, men and women showered with penetrating splinters of glass and wood, and a weeping young mother frantically holding on to her half-decapitated baby. To my left and to my right, dead bodies lay fallen to the ground like stones. At the end of his address, Mr. Yamaguchi showed a photograph of his injuries and appealed forcefully to the world. Take a close look at my face and arms. We must never allow even a single person among the people of the world and the children to be born in the future to go through the death and suffering caused by nuclear weapons that the hibakusha have suffered. No more Hiroshimas. No more Nagasaki's.
ノーマーを
No more war.
ノーマー被爆者
No more hibakusha.
この心の底からの叫びは
This cry from deep within his heart
思いの
is the
結晶
crystallization of the hibakusha's feelings.
証言の力で世界を動かして
The
いた
unshakable conviction of the hibakusha who have moved the world with the power of their testimony as well as their actions
日本被団協
has
が
drawn
ノー
praise.
ベル平和賞を
And
受賞しま
last
した
year, the Nihon Hirankyo was awarded
日
the
本被
Nobel
団協が
Peace
結成され
Prize.
たのは
Nihon Hirankyo was established in
体に
1956,
深い傷を負い
while the hibakusha struggled and suffered with deep mental and physical scars, as well as prejudice and poverty. It was launched in Nagasaki with a proclamation declaring their will to save humanity from its crisis through the lessons learned from our experiences, while at the same time saving ourselves. Humanity can rid itself of nuclear weapons. With this strong hope, the hibakusha continued to raise their voices, inspiring the empathy of a great number of citizens and eventually leading to the idea of the global citizen to become deeply rooted in Nagasaki. This phrase expresses the desire to build a peaceful future together, beyond the barriers of race or national borders as citizens of one big city called the Earth.
この地球市民の視点こそ
Is it not this global citizen perspective that will serve as the driving force behind stitching back together our fragmented world?
地球市民である世界中の皆さん
To the people of the world, all of whom are
たと
global
え一
citizens,
人一人の力は小さくとも
though the power of one person alone may be weak,
未来
if we
を
join together,
大き
it
な
will lead to a
力に
great force to open a path to the
被
future.
爆者は行動
The
で
hibakusha
示
have
して
shown this through their actions.
初めの一歩は
The
相手を
first
知る
step
ことです
is to know the other person.
対話や交流を重ね
We must repeatedly conduct dialogue and exchanges, understand each other, and little by little build up trust.
大きな役割です
This is our major role as civil society.
世界共通の言語とも言える
Through what could be described as the universal languages of sports and the arts, as well as through the use of modern communication tools, the opportunity for us to interact on a global scale are ever widening. The General Conference of Mayors of Peace, the meeting of an organization composed of about 8,500 cities across the world, is currently taking place here in Nagasaki. The municipalities, who are the form of government closest to the citizens, are also deepening their bonds and expanding their circle of collaboration. As global citizens, let us build up empathy and trust and turn it into the power to create
地
peace.
球市民の一員である
To the leaders of all the world's nations, who are also all global citizens.
戦争の惨禍を繰り返さない
The milestone year is also the 80th anniversary year of the founding of the United Nations, which was established under the resolution to save succeeding generations from the scourge of war. Now, I ask you to go back to the keystone value of the Charter of the United Nations and restore multinationalism and the rule of law.
来年開催される
Next year's review conference of the parties to the Treaty on the Non-Proliferation of Nuclear Weapons, or NPT, will present a crucial moment capable of swaying the fate of
長崎
humanity.
を最後の被爆地とするた
In
めに
order to
は
make Nagasaki the last atomic bombing site,
実現する
it is essential to show specific course of action for achieving the abolition of nuclear weapons.
先延ばしはもはや許されません
Procrastination can no longer be tolerated.
唯一の戦争被爆国であ
I
る
hereby appeal to the government of Japan, the only nation to have suffered wartime
憲法
atomic
の平和の
bombings,
理念と
firmly uphold the three non-nuclear principles and the ethos of peace embodied in the Constitution by signing and ratifying the Treaty on the Prohibition of Nuclear Weapons at the earliest possible juncture. To this end, exercise your leadership and change course towards a security policy that does not rely on nuclear deterrence. through establishing the Northeast Asian nuclear weapon-free zone or other means. There's not a great deal of time left for the hibakushas, whose average age is now over 86. I strongly request the further enhancement of aid given to the hibakusha and that relief measures are adopted as soon as possible for those who are exposed to the atomic bombings but have not yet been officially recognized as hibakusha. I would like to express my deepest condolences for the lives claimed by the atomic bombings and to all of the victims of war. In marking 80 years from the atomic bombing, Nagasaki has resolved to continue our duty to relay, both inside Japan and overseas, the memories of the bombing, which are a common heritage to all humanity, and should be passed down for generations throughout the world. I hereby declare that in order to make Nagasaki the last atomic bombing site, now and forever we'll go hand in hand with global citizens and devote our utmost effort towards the abolition of nuclear weapons and the realization of everlasting world peace. Suzuki Shiro, Mayor of Nagasaki, August 9th, 2025.
Pledge for Peace. Mr. Nishioka Hiroshi, representing the Hibakusha, will deliver the Pledge for Peace. On August 9, 1945, I was exposed to the atomic bomb inside the school building of the Nagasaki Prefectural Nagasaki Junior High School, 3.3 kilometers away from the hypercenter. I was 13 years old. Two large enemy planes moving west over Shimabara Peninsula. A student yelled out to the teacher's office, relaying a broadcast from the Western District Army. Within a few minutes, I began to hear the roar of the plane's engines, and then suddenly the sound grew louder. In the next instant, my body was bathed in a tremendous flash of light. Thinking our school's tennis court had been bombed, I covered my eyes and ears, lying flat on the ground as I was taught to do so since elementary school. At the moment of the bombing, it was as though through an instant my whole body was soaked in an ocean of orange-yellow light. Then the atomic bomb's tremendous blast shattered the glass windows, and I covered my head and dived into the corner of the room. My classmates began to fall on top of me, their weight making it impossible for me to breathe. However, being crushed by my classmates in this way saved me from injury, as they shielded me from the shards of glass as sharp as knives that pierced their bodies and left them covered in blood. Looking outside, I found that although the surrounding homes were damaged or destroyed, there was no fire or even smoke. I instead saw a huge pillar of fire rising over the Urakami district, and I wondered how what seemed to be a single bomb could have damaged such a wide area. After that, I hid in the air raid shelter at school for perhaps around 2 hours. Thinking at the point it must be safe to leave, I exited the shelter to go back home. What I found was a street filled with people fleeing in my direction for safety. A man so covered in blood that I could not tell if he was burned or had been cut. A mother walking carrying a baby bleeding from their face. A person who looked like their arm was cut off and hanging from them. These were the people who walked in crowds down from Nakagawa-machi towards Hotaru-jaya. The skies over Nagasaki were covered by a gray cloud, so despite it being the middle of the afternoon on a summer's day, it felt as if there was a solar eclipse. August 9th passed, and the war ended. While we were not told until after the war that what we witnessed was called an atomic bomb. Our fears from the atomic bomb continued. This fear was blown by the atomic bomb's after effects. There were some on the day of the bombing who, despite being close to the hypocenter, were protected by sturdy walls and left with only light injuries, or were working in underground factories and thus able to return home unscathed. However, even these lucky ones would begin one after another to bleed from their gums, lose their hair, and pass away. With no medicine or methods to treat them. And despite the war having already ended, the atomic bomb brought to us this invisible fear. Last year, Nihon Hidankyo, of which I'm a member, was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize. I believe that this award clearly shows that the world values our works as contributing to the establishment of world peace. In addition, this award enlightened me on the profound significance of people around the world paying attention to us and our work. We must not stop this momentum for peace, but rather accelerate it and build on our network of like-minded friends around the world. These are the goals we are striving for. We must never use nuclear weapons again. If we do, everything will end. Let us all protect this beautiful earth. August 9, 2025. Atomic Bomb Survivor Representative Nishioka Hiroshi.
Choral performance by the children. This year marks the 80th anniversary of the atomic bombing. Students from Shiroyama Elementary School and Yamazato Elementary School, two atomic bomb-affected schools that have alternated in the children's choir, will now perform a joint choir to pass on their wish for peace to the future. Today, 5th and 6th graders from Shiroyama Elementary School and 6th graders from Yamazato Elementary School will sing Kusunoki, or Camphor Tree, a song written and composed by a well-known musician from Nagasaki, Mr. Fukuyama Masaharu. Our honored guests are now invited to deliver their address. Mr. Ishiba Shigeru, Prime Minister of Japan. Here today, at the Nagasaki Peace Ceremony, marking the 80th anniversary of the atomic bombing, as Prime Minister of Japan, I reverently express my sincere condolences to the souls of those who fell victim to the atomic bombing. I also extend my heartfelt sympathy to those still suffering from the after effects of the bombing. 80 years ago today, this city was instantly reduced to ashes without a single tree or blade of glass by a single atomic bomb. The plutonium bomb, more powerful than the one dropped on Hiroshima, took the lives and futures of an estimated 70,000 people, the majority of whom were ordinary citizens. Those who managed to survive the devastation have long suffered from health problems. 80 years later, the widening of the division within the international community over approaches to nuclear disarmament has made the current security environment even more challenging. However difficult the situation may be, as the only country to have ever suffered atomic bombings in war, it is Japan's mission to lead the international community's efforts to realize a world without nuclear war and a world without nuclear weapons, while firmly upholding the three non-nuclear principles. We'll continue to make steady efforts step by step. The foundation for this is the Treaty on the Non-Proliferation of Nuclear Weapons, or NPT, which is the core of the international nuclear disarmament and non-proliferation regime. In the run-up to the next year's NPT review conference, Japan will persistently call on both nuclear-armed states and non-nuclear armed states to demonstrate the maximum spirit of dialogue and cooperation and work together in unity based on the Hiroshima Action Plan, and will also advance realistic and practical efforts. Conveying the realities of the atomic bombings is extremely important, as it is the starting point for all efforts towards nuclear disarmament. We called on leaders and future leaders from around the world to visit Nagasaki and Hiroshima, and many of them did so. The awarding of the Nobel Peace Prize last year to Nihon Hidankyo, the Japan Confederation of A and H bomb sufferers organizations, is of exceptional significance. I express my deep respect to Nihon Hidankyo for its work over so many years in promoting the abolition of nuclear weapons and advancing the understanding of the tragic realities of the atomic bombings. Since assuming the office as Prime Minister, I have visited Iwo Jima, where many lives were lost during the war, the Himeyuri Peace Memorial Museum in Okinawa and Hiroshima, the site of the atomic bombing, and today I am here in Nagasaki. What happened in this country 80 years ago? We must never allow the realities and tragedy of war and the severity of the damage caused by the atomic bomb to fade away, but must pass them on as memories. I am determined to further promote an accurate understanding of the realities of atomic bombing, transcending generations and borders. The government will continue to advance comprehensive relief measures covering health and medical services and welfare for the atomic bomb survivors who are advancing in years. And we will also work to expedite the atomic bomb disease certification process so that the applicants can receive the results as early as possible. Since December of last year, we have also begun providing atomic bomb survivors with medical expense subsidies for a wide range of common illnesses at the same rate as those who are officially recognized as having atomic bomb-related diseases, and will continue to steadily implement this program. Just now, after 80 years, the twin Angelus bells of Urakami Cathedral, now ringing together, rang out the same tone as before, along with the bell of Nagasaki here in the Peace Park. I pray that Urakami may become the world's last atomic wasteland. These are the words left behind by the late Dr. Takashi Nagai, who experienced the atomic bombing while serving as a physician at the Nagasaki Medical College Hospital. The tragedies that occurred in Nagasaki and Hiroshima must never be repeated. The Peace Memorial statue has its right hand pointing to the sky, indicating the atomic bomb, its left hand extended horizontally in prayer for peace, and its closed eyes filled with thoughts of mourning for the victims. Standing in front of this statue, I now make a renewed pledge. We'll continue to do our utmost to realize a world without nuclear war and a world without nuclear weapons, and to achieve lasting peace. I conclude my address by praying for the repose of the souls of those who fell victim to the atomic bombing, as well as for the peace of the bereaved families, atomic bomb survivors, all the attendees of the ceremony, and all the citizens of Nagasaki. Ishiba Shigeru, Prime Minister of Japan, August 9th, 2025.
Ms. Nakamitsu Izumi, United Nations Under Secretary General and High Representative for Disarmament Affairs. I have received a message of UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres. I will read the message on his behalf. On this solemn day, we mark 80 years since Nagasaki was devastated by an atomic bomb. We remember the tens of thousands who perished in an instant, and we grieve with those who lost loved ones. We also honor the survivors, the hibakusha. While their numbers grow smaller each year, their courage and testimony have become an eternal moral compass for our world, one that will forever point the way to peace. And we pay tribute to the people of Nagasaki. Amidst unimaginable destruction, they showed incredible strength and resilience, rebuilding a city of peace, culture, and global connection. Nagasaki is a beacon of hope for our world. This year also marks the 80th anniversary of the United Nations, born from the ashes of a global conflict with a mission to save succeeding generations from the scourge of war. It is no coincidence that nuclear disarmament was the subject of the very first General Assembly resolution. 8 decades later, it remains our highest disarmament priority. Yet today, the shadow of nuclear weapons looms once again. They have returned to the center of national security strategies and are being brandished as tools of coercion. Meanwhile, military spending has reached record highs, while investment in peace and sustainable development falter. Yet, there are hopeful signs that the world is waking up to the need to reverse course. Last year, the Japanese organization Nihon Hidankyo, which represents the survivors of Nagasaki and Hiroshima bombings, was awarded the 2024 Nobel Peace Prize for its tireless work in raising awareness about this critical issue. And in the Pact for the Future adopted last year, countries recommitted to a world free of nuclear weapons. Peace and security cannot be achieved through an arms race. We must recommit to the proven tools of disarmament, dialogue, diplomacy, confidence building, transparency, and arms control and reduction. Countries must move from words to action by strengthening the global disarmament regime with a treaty on non-proliferation of nuclear weapons at the center, complemented by the momentum created by the Treaty on the Prohibition of Nuclear Weapons. Let us honor the memory of the victims of Nagasaki not only with remembrance, but with resolve. Remembering the catastrophic past must move us to protect and build a peaceful today and tomorrow. Let us work together urgently for a world free of nuclear weapons. August 9th, 2025, Antonio Guterres.
Nagasaki県知事大石健吾様
Mr. Oishi Kengo, Governor of Nagasaki.
$80
80 years ago, the last atomic bomb ever used in the world burned down and reduced the city and its people who lived here to ashes. It claimed the precious lives of about 74,000 people and left behind a reality that we, the survivors of humanity, must never turn our eyes away from. Nuclear weapons are inhumane. They not only unilaterally take the lives of many decent citizens who wish for peace, but also destroy the lives of those who survive. 80 years on, the memories and the suffering caused by that single atomic bomb dropped on Nagasaki have not faded from within us who live here today, and they are etched in our hearts across generations. I ask all of you around the world, is this world where we live with nuclear weapons aimed at each other truly the peaceful and secure world you all seek? Please imagine a world where one day nuclear weapons are suddenly unleashed, burning down and shattering your irreplaceable family, friends, and beloved hometown, leaving it forever unrecognizable. I ask the leaders around the world, Is it truly impossible to build a peaceful and secure world without relying on nuclear weapons? Is relying on nuclear weapons, which are far more powerful than the one that devastated Nagasaki, the only solution you, the leaders, can find to protect your people? As long as nuclear weapons exist, there is no guarantee that Nagasaki will remain the last place to have suffered an atomic bombing during the war. Now, leaders of the world and all of us must once again strongly recognize that the nuclear weapons pose a real and present danger to our individual futures and to the sustainability of humankind. The world is still fraught with deepening divisions and ongoing conflicts. Even in this moment, as we pray for peace here, conflict zones continue to claim innocent lives, drawing people who have nothing to do with the conflicts, and spread a cycle of sorrow and despair that is irreversible. August 9th is a day of prayer for the people of Nagasaki, a day to mourn all the victims of the atomic bombing and renew our vow for peace. Let Nagasaki be the last atomic bombed site. I believe that for all of us to raise our voices and uphold this vow is the only path to building a truly peaceful and sustainable world. 80 years have passed since that day. The memories that will never fade in Nagasaki are not distant events, but a reality that could happen to you, anyone, at any time. It is my earnest hope that today's ceremony will unite the hearts of the leaders and people around the world and will serve as a step forward towards the realization of a world without nuclear weapons. Furthermore, here in Nagasaki, deeply acknowledging the profound wishes of those affected in different ways by the bombing, we urge the Japanese government to extend a relief to those in Nagasaki who were in circumstances similar to those exposed to the Black Rain in Hiroshima. In closing, at this peace memorial ceremony for the atomic bomb victims, together with people of Nagasaki, I solemnly offer our deepest condolences to the atomic bomb victims and pray that all of their spirits may rest in peace. August 9, 2025, Oishi Kengo, the governor of Nagasaki Prefecture.
Telegrams and messages received from all different sources are posted on the bulletin board on the right-hand side at the entrance of the ceremony venue. Please have a look at them. The song "A Thousand Paper Cranes" will be performed in chorus. It was produced in commemoration of the 50th anniversary of the atomic bombing. The lyrics written by Ms. Yokoyama Kanae in Chiba Prefecture was selected from among many collected from a nationwide lyrics contest. The music was made by a composer from Nagasaki, Ms. Oshima Michiru. Today, the students of Ms. Oshima's alma mater, Junshin Girls Senior High School, are here to sing the song. The choir will be conducted by a teacher of the school, Ms. Tanigawa Kiora, accompanied by Mr. Uchida Makoto on keyboards, who has been playing the background music for today's ceremony. With the Nagasaki Peace Declaration as the wish of Nagasaki citizens, we will renew our resolve to continue our efforts to realize a lasting world peace. We sincerely thank our honored guests and all the attendees for their cooperation in the smooth proceedings of the ceremony. This concludes the peace ceremony commemorating the 80th anniversary of the atomic bombing of Nagasaki.
My name is Nobuki Moto. I live in New York 28 years, and I'm a chairman of Nagasaki Prefectural Association of New York. I'm speaking to you today as a second generation Hibakusha. It's an honor to join you on this solemn and deeply meaningful occasion, the 80th anniversary of the atomic bombing of Nagasaki. My father, who passed away on December 12, 2021, at the age of 89, was a Hibakusha, a survivor of that unimaginable day, though he is no longer with us. His memory, his experiences, and his quiet strength continue to live on in me and in all of us who carry the legacy of those who endured the bombing. 80 years has passed since August 9th, 1945, and yet the pain and lesson of that day remain. As a child of Hibakusha, I grew up in the shadow of that history. My father didn't often speak of what he witnessed, but the trauma was always present. As 15 years ago, I'm acquaintance of mine who was making a documentary film about the atomic bomb in New York asked me to interview your father, a survivor of the atomic bomb. And that when I heard my father's specific tragic experience, apparently the schoolyard of my father's elementary school was lined with rows of bodies, some injured in the bombing and some who had already died. Many visitors came looking for their families, but after a week, under the scorching summer sun, a foul odor emanated from the bodies of the deceased, making it impossible to approach the schoolyard. I'll never forget that stretch, my father said. A few days later, a large hole was dug on the side of the hill behind the schoolyard, and all the bodies of those without a family were buried there. The surrounding area was then declared a no-go zone. That's a story I heard. The effect of the atomic bomb didn't end with one generation. They were passed on in our bodies, in our hearts, and in our histories and our stories. That's why I'm here today, to share not only my father's memory, but to speak for all the families like mine who live with the long-lasting impact of nuclear war. Even after 80 years, the message remains urgent. We must never allow this to happen again. The survivors have spoken for decades about the horror of nuclear weapons. Now it's up to us, the second and the third generations, to carry their voice forward. We remember the tens of thousands who perished, and we honor the resilience of the who moved on. Healing the physical and memorial scars. But remembrance alone is not enough. We must act. We must indicate. We must continue the call for peace, for nuclear abolition, and for a world where no one else has to suffer as the people of Nagasaki did. To my beloved father, thank you. Your life, your endurance, and your quiet hope have shaped who I am. I speak today because of you. And I promise to continue speaking so your story and the stories of so many others will never be forgotten. Thank you.
World peace. Come on, let's work for peace. World peace. Let's walk towards peace. Hey wa, hey wa. 諦めない世界。Hey wa, hey wa. さあ上を向いて。綺麗なこの星が黒い雲に覆われてる。人が互いに憎み合う。きっと心の闇のせい。大地を飾る花たちはいつも笑顔くれるのに、森の中で鳥たちは生きる喜び歌うのに。さあ行きますよ。World peace. Come on, let's walk for peace. World peace. Let's walk towards peace. Hey what? Hey what? つなごう世界平和に一緒。Hey what? 歌いながら行こう。笑顔で進もう。命の今日はどうと向くか。今日は泣いてる for tomorrow だけを信じて進もう。明日はさに青く綺麗な星のために7つの色の虹のよう雨上がりの大空に世界中の人たちで作ろう心の架け橋。希望の街で私たちは違いを優しく語ろう。それは明日笑顔になり必ず心をつなぎ合える。よしよ。World peace. Come on, let's walk for peace. World peace. Let's walk towards peace. Hey what? Hey what? 諦めない世界。Hey what? Hey what? さあ上を向いて声を上げるのさ。夢を信じる強い思い。みんなの笑顔を守り勇気を出して手をつなぐ。青く綺麗な星のために。World peace. Come on, let's work for peace. World peace. Let's walk towards peace. Hey, what? Hey, what? つな を世界平和の意志わわ平和歌いながら行こう笑顔で進む We can go Wow wow world peace Come on let's walk for peace Wow wow world peace Let's walk towards peace 平和わわ平和諦めない世界平和わわ平和さあ上を向いて恋はけるさ恋はける No sound Now How can 最後平和でいきましょうわわ平和ありがとうございました
I thank you very much for joining today, and it's very nice to be able to connect to New York and Japan and observe this moment together on the 80th anniversary of Nagasaki Atomic Bombings. And I would like to conclude with a short meditation. So please join me in Gassho. Place your palms together and bow your head. May all sentient beings be happy, well, and peaceful. May we all be free from suffering. May we all be free from pain. May we all be free from attachment, from greed, anger, and ignorance. May we all attain ultimate happiness and peace of enlightenment. 願に宿毒平等性一切同仏菩提心往生安楽 Peace to you all, and thank you very much.